First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Is Dave Mears. I'm from Stamford in Lincolnshire, England, and I am another victim of the COVID vaccine. In March this year, at the beginning of March, I took the AstraZeneca vaccination, and that evening I had a horrendous fever. It lasted weeks and weeks. During that period, my left foot swelled up so badly, my landlady called my sister, who went ballistic seeing it, and rang 999. I was rushed into Peterborough City Hospital on April the 10th, 2021. I remained in hospital for 10 weeks. They tried to save my leg, but failed, sadly, after 4 operations. 2 at Peterborough City Hospital, then I was transferred to Addenbrooke's, where they tried a below-knee amputation, which failed, and sadly, there was dead tissue, and they feared that the infection had not fully cleared, so they took no chances. I had to have a above-knee amputation. Before this happened, I was British, European, and world martial arts champion. I'm Dave Machine Gun Mears. I was a taekwondo expert, a kickboxer, specializing in Thai boxing, and I was trained by the living legend, Peter McAleese of 22 SAS Regiment, the greatest special forces unit in the world.
So what about patients that you seen? Especially, have you seen heart issues? Obviously, you're a cardiologist.
Yeah, I just saw one last week, a student up here in Denton, who he took the vaccine. It's very ill-advised. Now, keep in mind, anybody under age 50, there's a less than a 1% chance anything bad's going to come out. Why would you take the vaccine? Here he is, in his late 20s. He takes the vaccine, heart inflammation. So the EKG changes, sky-high troponin, which is the test we measure for heart damage. Now the echocardiogram shows his heart functions down, and now he's on heart failure medicines. It's completely unnecessary. Even the FDA has safety warnings against Pfizer, Moderna for causing myocarditis up to age 30. I'm sure it extends beyond that. And then there's a warning on Johnson & Johnson for blood clots in women ages 18 to 48. So you can't win with either one. And my advice to America now has been for a while is just say no to this, especially young people not at risk. Pfizer, on May 27th, published in the New England Journal of Medicine the data on children ages 12 to 15, prospective randomized trial, 2,300 kids, vaccinated, 2-to-1 randomization. The vaccine prevented 18 cases of the sniffles. That's it. I mean, just a little runny nose. That's all it did. 60 to 80% of the kids developed sky-high fever, sometimes at 40 degrees. They had 20 to 30% of them were out of school. Muscle aches, body aches all over. God knows how many had influenced their heart. It was a bust. And you know what the conclusion was? Vaccinate the kids. The FDA had approved the vaccine before the data even came out. They approved it on May 10th before the safety data was out on May 27th. So that's an act of regulatory malfeasance. Something is really off the wall here, and there is an unbelievable train of aim on the children for no reason.
Our whole future, our children.
Now, the problem we have here is because APRA, the Australian Health Practitioners Regulatory Board, is controlling the knowledge on vaccine science, doctors have been gagged from speaking up with autonomy when they look at the medical literature and they see the risks that are involved with vaccines, and they're not allowed to speak about those because it's dismissed as anti-vaccination. So we have now what we call the COVID Medical Network. They're the Australian doctors speaking up, and they have a website. They've recently put out a letter, an open letter to all GPs in Australia, because they know that GPs are not getting the correct information about what's in this injection. As I said, the injection is not a vaccine. It's been falsely labelled, just like all the public who are talking about choice in vaccination. We're falsely labelled as anti-vaxxers. The Australian Health Practitioners Regulatory Board, and I've recently been informed that the head of that board actually doesn't even have a science degree. So that needs to be investigated, and this is how medical tyranny has developed. This injection will not prevent any transmission of the COVID in the community, and it doesn't prevent you getting COVID either, and the government has told you that's the fact. So there's no proven benefit of it, and large, overwhelming risks from this injection. Thank you, Dr. Thanks. There is in fact no evidence to support mask wearing by healthy people, and Roger Cook was the first one on Channel 9 TV to actually tell you all as healthy people not to wear a mask. That's still on video if you wish to look it up. Okay, so the authorities are lying to the public. When you put that mask on a healthy person that has no symptoms, you are breathing in your own carbon dioxide and excretory products. That's what you're breathing out, are the excretory products that your body must eliminate to keep healthy. At the same time, we have an abundance of fresh air that we're breathing in. Okay? So with every second you put a mask on your face, you're ruining your own health. You're running down your immune system and creating an opportunity for a virus to become infected.
Well, I ended up getting the Pfizer vaccine back in July 25th. And the very next day, I ended up with symptoms from my adenoma and my pituitary brain bleed all over again. And it has been in remission for 4 years. So it was very, very strange that the day after I got the Pfizer vaccine, my first dose, that these symptoms appeared. I made a video the day that I was having the symptoms, and I said I was going to go to Emerge, or I went to Emerge or something. And some of the comments were like, you have to advocate for yourself. You need to get in contact with a neurologist. You got to do those things for yourself because they don't always check up on you. Well, I ended up with a brand new neurologist and a brand new team that are actually studying my brain at the moment, which is kind of cool, which means I also have to go for tests and stuff and regular scans to make sure that my pituitary gland is shrinking and the adenoma stays benign. But I was told by my neurologist and by my team that I am not allowed to get the second dose of the COVID vaccine. I'm not allowed to mix. I can't just go and get Moderna or the other two, Johnson & Johnson one and AstraZeneca. I cannot get the second dose of anything because it's life-threatening to me. If my pituitary swells and gets bigger, it could possibly rupture and cause brain damage. And my neurologist wants to avoid surgery with the adenoma because right now it's benign, and unless it becomes active or whatever, non-benign or whatever it's called, she does not want to have to deal with that surgery if I don't have to have it. But I did find out that the COVID-19 vaccines are a trigger. I become symptomatic because of the COVID-19 shot. How in the fuck can a vaccine have those serious consequences when you get them? Yeah, you risk getting COVID yourself, and, it's supposed to lessen the severity if you do get COVID. But what kind of fucking vaccine is going to cause my pituitary gland to explode. It's a vaccine I cannot trust or get behind at all.
With that, I'm going to hand the microphone to Shauna Link for coming in. Just feel free to speak freely and tell us whatever you'd like to tell us. We're happy to hear it.
My name is Shauna Link, and I live in Evansville. Boy, I got to a good start there. Okay, I'll try harder. Thank you for inviting me to share Haley's story. First of all, I must say that my angel would not want all the attention being focused on her. But she would want that attention to be, for this event to be given to God. God be the glory. My husband and I have 3 beautiful girls. Casey is 40, Jackie is 38, and Haley is forever 28. We have been blessed with 3 wonderful son-in-laws and 4 awesome grandchildren as well. But we are broken. Haley graduated from the University of Evansville with an undergrad degree in 2015 in athletic training. And in 2018, she graduated with her doctoral degree in physical therapy, and she worked so hard. She married her high school sweetheart. On November 10th of 2018. Next week would be their 3rd anniversary. None of us are prepared to live the rest of our lives without Haley. The morning of January 21st was the beginning of the worst days of our lives. Haley received the Moderna injection the morning of January 19th. Her employer hosted the event, and Walgreens administered the injections. The elderly and healthcare workers were among the first to receive the injection. Haley and her immediate family thought she was doing the responsible thing. She worked with the elderly, and she was a type 1 diabetic. We were told, as all of us were told, that this vaccine was safe and effective. No more masks and no more chance of getting sick. CDC guidelines were, if they haven't changed them again to fit their narrative, that those with underlying health issues such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes should get the injection. However, in the same paragraph, the CDC says the safety of this injection is not yet known for those with autoimmune disorders. Well, folks, guess what? That paragraph is an oxymoron. Diabetes is an underlying health condition as well as an autoimmune disorder. I do not know if Haley was given the opportunity for informed consent. On January 20th, the day of her first injection, Haley woke up 6:30 in the morning, nauseated and vomiting. This continued all day, according to her husband. She knew her body, and she knew she had to drink replacement electrolytes, and had been doing that all day. As the evening progressed, her husband offered to take her to the ER, but she thought she felt bad from the injection and could sleep off the discomfort. She stayed in the bathroom because of the vomiting, and he kissed her and went to bed at 11 p.m. Coroner put her time of death between 1 a.m. and 2. Evan found her at 6:30 that morning.